I always knew my wife, Lisa, had a playful streak, but I never imagined she and her friends would take things this far. What started as a harmless joke quickly turned into something far more intense. It was a quiet Saturday afternoon, and I was lounging on the couch, lazily flipping through channels when the doorbell rang. I wasn't expecting anyone, so I assumed it was just a package delivery. But the moment I opened the door, my stomach dropped. Two uniformed police officers stood before me, their expressions unreadable. One of them cleared his throat. "Mr. Thompson?" he asked. I nodded, a sudden wave of unease washing over me. "We need you to come with us for a moment." My mind raced. Had I done something wrong? I couldn't think of a single reason why the police would be here, but the serious looks on their faces sent my nerves into overdrive. Before I could even form a response, one officer stepped forward, turned me around, and pulled my arms behind my back. Click. The cold steel of handcuffs locked around my wrists. My mouth went dry. Then, just as panic fully took hold, I heard something odd, muffled laughter. Frowning, I turned my head toward the kitchen, and there they were, Lisa and her friends, peeking from behind the doorway, barely containing themselves. My heart, which had been pounding a moment ago, suddenly slowed as realization dawned on me. This was a prank. I exhaled sharply, forcing myself to stay calm. If they wanted to mess with me, I'd play along. W8. I stammered, pretending to be flustered. What is this about? One of the officers did an impressive job keeping a straight face. We received a report of suspicious activity. That was it. Lisa and her friends completely lost it. Laughter erupted from behind the doorway. They doubled over, clutching their stomachs, tears streaming down their faces. Lisa stumbled forward, barely able to speak between fits of giggles. "Oh my God! Your face! You should have seen your face!" she cackled, pointing at me. The officers, now unable to hold back, chuckled as well. One of them finally reached for the cuffs, unlatched them, and gave me a friendly pat on the back, as if to say no hard feelings. I forced a smile and even laughed a little, but inside, I was already planning my revenge. Over the next few days, Lisa and her friends wouldn't let it go. Every chance they got, they brought up the prank, reminding me of how I'd frozen in shock, how I'd looked like I was about to pass out. They reenacted my reaction at dinner, exaggerating my face and gasping dramatically, each performance more ridiculous than the last. I endured it all with a smile, but deep down I was biding my time, because soon it would be my turn. I laughed with them, played along, and acted like a good sport. But deep down, I was already crafting the perfect payback. Exactly 1 week later, it was time to strike. With the help of my old college friend Mark, who, conveniently, was a detective, I set my plan in motion. Each of Lisa's friends, including Lisa herself, received an official-looking letter in the mail. The envelope was stamped with what appeared to be a court seal, and inside was a formal notice stating they were under investigation for filing a false police report. The letter informed them that they were required to attend a hearing to determine whether legal action would be taken against them. Their reactions were priceless. Lisa's face turned ghostly pale the moment she read the letter. "Oh no," she whispered, gripping the paper with trembling hands. "This is bad." Her friends weren't handling it any better. One of them immediately burst into tears, while another frantically typed into her phone, searching. Prank gone wrong, legal consequences. I watched silently as they whispered in hushed, panicked voices, trying to figure out their next move. Every now and then, they shot me nervous glances, but I simply shrugged, pretending to be just as confused as they were. By evening, they had all gathered at our house, their faces filled with dread. Lisa paced the living room, reading and rereading the letter, as if hoping to find some loophole. "I think we need a lawyer," one of her friends suggested anxiously. Lisa didn't hesitate. She nodded and reached for her phone. "I can't believe this," she muttered under her breath. It was just supposed to be a harmless joke. I let them stew in their anxiety, allowing the tension to build. And just when I could tell they couldn't take another second of uncertainty, I cleared my throat and smiled. "Gotcha." Lisa froze mid-step. Her friends blinked at me, momentarily stunned. Then, one by one, realization sank in. Lisa's eyes narrowed as she locked onto me. "No," she whispered. "No way." I grinned wider. "Oh, yes." For a brief moment, the room was silent. Then, Lisa let out a dramatic groan, dropping her head into her hands while her friends released a mix of relieved laughter and exhausted sighs. She turned to me, shaking her head, but I could already see the reluctant smile forming on her lips. "You are evil," she admitted. I simply shrugged, wrapping an arm around her. "That," I said, "is how you get revenge." She sighed, still laughing. "Okay, you win." And just like that, the prank war was over. For now. But knowing Lisa, I had a feeling this wasn't the end.